17. Randy grinned and waved to Delia, feeling relieved and frightened as well. He wondered how he should handle this. He was going to have to tell Bomani about his dad. At Bomani's house, his children huddled around Randy, making him tell the story of the storm over and over again. The ones old enough for school had practiced the usual tornado drill, but nothing more exciting than a little wind and thunder had occurred at their schools. To have somebody at their house who had lived through a direct hit from the twin twisters made Randy a hero, and they peppered him with questions all evening. The news reports on television told of the terrible damage to the building, the lack of serious injury to students or staff, and the heroism of Taboo and Titan Tolliver. The stations kept rerunning the film from their appearance on the talk show, and speaking in very excited terms about this turn of events. Dozens of reporters were camped out on the lawn of the small Tolliver house, but they said no one inside would agree to come out and talk to them. Randy ate a huge dinner, interrupted only by giggles and questions from Bomani's children. He thanked Bomani and his wife for allowing him to stay there for a day or two. "Have you been able to reach your dad?" Bomani asked, as he and Randy washed the dishes while Bomani's wife put the kids to bed. No, not yet. His cell phone is turned off," Randy said honestly. "When is the last time you talked to him? He must have heard about the storm. It's been on all the national news stations. Did you call home and check your answering machine to see if he's called you? I know he'll be worried if he can't find you." There was no message, Randy said quietly. He clenched and unclenched his fists. He had finally had enough. The burden of a missing father was too much to carry along with the stress and fear of the day. "Bomani, we're straight, right? You always tell us in Double Dutch that if we've got problems, we should tell you, right?" "Of course," Bomani said, setting down the plate he was wiping. "What's wrong, Randy? You can tell me anything. I'm here for you. You know that." Randy sighed. "I haven't seen or heard from my father in more than 2 months," he blurted out finally. "I think he's deserted me, just like my mom did," Randy added in a whisper. "How have you been living all this time?" Bomani asked. He sat down with a thud on the sofa. "By myself, me and my cat. I just knew he'd be home any day, so I didn't tell anybody. I didn't want to call the police because I was afraid they'd put me in some foster home, or they'd get my dad in trouble for leaving me. So I just managed. He left me a little money, but that's all gone, and I'm at a place where I just don't know what to do. It felt so good to finally tell somebody." Bomani was silent for a while. "You'll stay here for the time being," he said finally. "Then we'll start investigating what's going on. And don't worry, nobody is going to make you go to a foster home, and nobody is going to get your dad in trouble. I know he wouldn't desert you, Randy. He adores the ground you walk on. There has got to be an explanation, and we will find it, I promise." Randy felt weak with relief. Bomani gave him a big hug and looked him straight in the eye. "I wish you had told me sooner. We're a family in Double Dutch. Families don't keep secrets like that. They help each other. Don't worry, we're going to figure this out. Now here's a blanket. You get your choice, the big couch or the little one to sleep on." Randy grinned. "The big one, of course. And thanks, Bomani. I feel like 100 pounds have been lifted off my back." "Good thing, because I think you ate 100 pounds of food tonight." "Bomani, can I call Delia before I go to sleep?" Randy asked. "I want to see how Yolanda is doing." "Sure, and let me know how they both are. Today was unbelievable. I'm so glad you're all safe." "You think we'll still be able to have the tournament this weekend?" Randy asked as he tossed the blanket on Bomani's big, comfortable sofa. "I know today has been traumatic, but as soon as we get ourselves together and start to breathe normally, we're going to have the finest World Championship Double Dutch tournament the world has ever seen," Bomani said with encouragement. "We're going to be jumping with the best of them all day Friday and Saturday." "I'm glad. I think we all need something to think about besides the tornado. I sure hope Yo-Yo is okay." "Me too. And Randy, I'm going to make some inquiries on my own about your father. But if nothing has changed by Monday, we're calling the police. Bet?" "Bet. Thanks again, Bomani, for everything." "No problem. Give my best to Delia." Bomani headed up the stairs. Randy dialed Delia's phone number, feeling better than he had in weeks. "Hey, Delia," he said when she picked up the phone. "Have you heard from Yolanda?" "I just got off the phone with her. She's back home, and she's going to be okay. The doctor said she had a mild concussion, which is a big word for a bad bump on the head. Oh, goodness. Now we're going to have to listen to her stories of concussions and medical complications for months. Delia laughed. It's already started. She told me that while she was unconscious, she saw angels who lifted her up and carried her out. She didn't see angels, she saw the Tollivers, the last people that I would confuse with anything from heaven, Randy said. You got that right, agreed Delia. But maybe we have been unfair to them. Maybe they're not as bad as we've been making them out to be. Maybe, Randy said thoughtfully. It's not every day you save somebody's life, even if they didn't really plan to, Delia replied. Well, I'm sure glad they did. Yolanda's kind of far out there sometimes, but I'm so glad she's all right. I don't even care about her tall tales, Randy chuckled. Me neither. She said the doctor told her if she was okay for the next few days, there's no reason why she can't jump in the tournament, Delia added. That's good news. She should have no problems resting with the school closed down. When I was little, I used to dream about the school blowing up or burning down. I never really believed it would happen. I know. It makes me a little sad that the school is messed up, but I'm glad we don't have to take that state test, Delia said with glee. They'll make us take it eventually, Randy reminded her. Yeah, but by then, Double Dutch Championship will be over, and I won't have to deal with one before I get to do the other, Delia reasoned. Whatever, Randy said. Bomani told me we've raised enough money for all of us to stay in the hotel downtown with the rest of the teams. We check in Thursday, he said. Super, Delia replied. That's the best part of a trip, eating pizza at midnight, swimming in the hotel pool, running from room to room, and getting yelled at by Bomani and the chaperones when we do that. I'm glad you're at Bomani's house, Randy, especially with your dad so far away. Me too, Randy added with real honesty. I'm going to sleep good tonight on this big, fat, lumpy sofa. I gotta go now, Randy. My other line is beeping. Talk to you tomorrow. Later.